Mexico should do what we do. First of all, you got a country of 6 million people with El Salvador. But that's nothing compared to 132 million Mexicans that there is. That is a massive difference in a population. But just to give you a rough idea percentage-wise of the amount of people that are locked up here, the United States, which has notoriously for the longest time had the world's largest prison population, percentage-wise, when you break it down, the United States has about 0.5% of its people in prison. And that's the world's biggest prison population right there. Now, El Salvador, Bukele has almost 2% of his entire population locked up in prison. 2% is a ton of people. If Mexico were to do that, it'd be almost 2 million people. The US's prison population is almost 2 million people. And Mexico is less than half the size of the US. So you can't compare those two. The other thing you can't compare between El Salvador and Mexico is that in El Salvador, you have a lot of gangs with guns. Yes, you have gangs with guns. But gangs with guns is very different from Mexico that has cartels with armies. Cartels with armies have rocket launchers, have machine guns, have military training. Again, always by the US, because 75% of the weapons that come into Mexico are coming in from the US. It's military grade weaponry, it's drones, and Mexico has to deal with the world's largest drug consumer on its northern border. El Salvador doesn't have to deal with any of those conditions. So you can't go about dealing with these issues the same way. Not only can you not do that, Mexico already tried it in 2006 when Felipe Calderón declared his war against the cartels. But it was still a war against the cartels, trying to eradicate a bunch of the cartels with violence and with imprisonments and with disappearances. The same thing Bukele is suggesting that Mexico do. And you cannot compare those two. Now, what Mexico has done that has succeeded is the longer road, but it's also the most practical and the most effective route. Since 6 years ago, they've already been upping all their social programs. They've been dumping a ton of money and resources into the education system, the medical system. You have work programs that are going on, internship programs. You have the Sembrando Vida program. The Sembrando Vida program that we already did a video on not only benefited Mexico, but that program extended out into Guatemala, and at the time, it extended out to El Salvador. They got 60 million for their portion of the Sembrando Vida program. It would have been more, but the US is a train wreck and they didn't pitch in on their portion of it. But that's besides the point. The point is, you can't compare the two countries and the problems that these two countries have for this arrogant little dictator to run around talking about you should do what we do. It's a train wreck. In conclusion, que Bukele me la pele.